Higher drug costs. Big European companies controlling our water and sewage systems. Corporations overriding local decision-making. All of these could be a reality thanks to a nasty trade deal being negotiated by Canada and the European Union. Canada and the EU are negotiating a comprehensive economic and trade agreement known as CETA. It's a mouthful to say, and a big deal for Canada. The EU is asking for a lot. The Europeans want access to goods and services that are currently provided in the public sector. These include provincial utilities like Manitoba Hydro, postal services, and access to government purchasing of goods and services at every level. In fact, it's the first time that a trade agreement will include municipal activities like purchasing, infrastructure projects, and the delivery of municipal services. And because it expands the rights of corporations to bid for and provide these services, it will lead to increased privatization of vital community services currently delivered by the public sector. CUPE's national president, Paul Moist, warns that European corporations are looking for access to Canada's public services.
Many of us believe because the deal's not out in the open, it's being driven by, largely, the European Union wanting access to something new for them that they don't have access to now, and that's a large chunk of Canada's public sector.
CETA will also have a big impact on drinking water and water treatment services in our cities and towns. In Canada, most water and water treatment services are taken care of by municipal governments. But big European corporations like Veolia and Suez are looking for new markets. Under CETA, control of our water services would be open for bidding. Here's what Maud Barlow, National Chairperson of the Council of Canadians, says about what CETA means for water in Canada.
CETA is a key threat to public water services. Paul spoke about this. The EU is absolutely insistent that drinking water be included in the disciplines of the deal. And Canada, we should know, has a very aging infrastructure. We have about $31 billion needed in infrastructure investment. Under a CETA, with these big companies, Veolia and Suez and others, in there vying for these contracts, you would have to open all of this up. It would be a 1-2 step to privatization of our water services.
One of the biggest problems with CETA is the impact on democracy. CETA takes power from local governments and gives it to large multinational corporations. The deal would give large European corporations the right to sue Canadian governments when they think a government decision may have a possible negative impact on that company's future profits. Local governments who choose to buy local or exclude for-profit European corporations from bidding on public service contracts could have the right to do so overruled by an unaccountable trade tribunal for violating CETA. Ontario's Green Energy Act, local food procurement, and ethical purchasing policies are all at risk. CETA will even have an impact on health care. If signed, CETA will cause prescription drug costs to skyrocket. A recent study warned that this deal could add $2.8 billion per year to drug costs. That's a lot of money for our already stretched healthcare system to absorb. The EU sells Canada more than $5 billion of pharmaceuticals annually. Now, the EU is demanding more patent protection for drug companies. That means it will take longer to get cheaper generic drugs on the market, driving up costs for all of us. Canadians want their public services to stay in public hands. A recent poll by Environics Research shows Canadians want the public sector to deliver safe, quality services we can count on. We don't have a lot of time. Provincial and federal governments are negotiating and deciding what's on the table and what's left off. The time to act is now. So what can we do about CETA? Alberta Federation of Labour President Gil McGowan says it's time to make some noise.
And so what I think we need to do is take what we've learned tonight back to our homes, back to our workplaces, back to our communities. We need to talk to our friends, our families, and our co-workers, and we need to make some noise. We need to kick in the door, turn on the light, and make things really messy, because what we've learned is that there's nothing more powerful than the power of public outrage.
Let's make some noise. Join our postcard campaign. Sign the petition against CETA. Work with others to make your city and school board pass a resolution against CETA. Demand action and accountability from provincial governments. Take this on in your community. Write a letter to the editor. Organize public events or rallies, and lobby the politicians. Together, we can stop this trade deal and protect our communities, healthcare, and public services.